your client says yes, you probably didn't ask for enough money. How much? This is probably one of the most, if not the most frequently asked questions here on my channel. Hey Barr, how much do you charge? How much should I charge? How much do they charge? And it's really a tough question to answer, but nonetheless, today I'm going to do my absolute best to answer the question that every DJ has on their mind. How much should I charge? Some of you guys are probably going to leave this video very depressed. And some of you guys are going to leave this video feeling really good about yourselves because you're going to find out how much DJs are out there charging in the real world. The spectrum is very wide. Price ranges range from free all the way to tens of thousands of dollars. It's a very complicated question. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a brief history of how my pricing structure has changed over the years, what I think you should be charging, and best of all, how to price shop, how to find out what your competitors are charging. A brief history. When I first started, my first couple of parties were absolutely free. I just wanted to DJ, I wanted to get out there, so I did not charge for my first couple of parties. You can't just go out there, buy equipment, and expect to be charging $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for events. It just does not work that way. At my first paying gig, I got paid a whopping $50. I was 17 years old at the time and I was ecstatic because that family that paid me my first 50 bucks turned me from a hobbyist to a professional. But when I first started, I had no intention of becoming a mobile DJ. My intentions were always to be a bar or a nightclub DJ. And when I started DJing bars and nightclubs, I used to make between $100 and $300. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't out there doing mobile events. Every now and then I had the occasional baby shower, birthday party, and even wedding. And for that, my friends, I used to charge 500 big ones. Now, keep in mind that I did not own any equipment except my actual mixing console, so that's not what I took home. I did have expenses because I used to have to rent equipment from my boy DJ Rico. He used to rent me equipment for $150. My take home from that $500 I used to get paid was $350. And when you guys started watching those first couple of YouTube videos, I was still charging around $500 and $750. For quinceañeras and weddings, sweet 15s, stuff like that, I was getting around $750. Baby showers, regular birthdays, I was getting 500 bucks. 2016, that's when I went all in with this mobile DJ stuff. I said to myself, hey, there's some money to be made in this business, so let me go all in, let me invest in some equipment, let me actually structure this like a business and attempt to make some money. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I decided to go legit is because of you guys. I was chasing more views on YouTube and I was like, hey, these gig logs get a ton of views. I'm making money from the videos and making money from the gigs. So why not go legit? Why not make this an actual business? That's when I dropped the DJ from DJ Barr and became Barr Entertainment. And when I started Barr Entertainment, things were sloppy. There was a lot of trial and error that I went through before I kind of found my footing. I didn't know whether to go the a la carte route or to go with the packages route. I went with the latter. I decided to just build a couple of packages and see what stuck. Now, I knew from experience that I hated doing birthday parties, that I hated doing baby showers, that I hated doing all that stuff. I liked doing weddings. And for those weddings, when Barr Entertainment started, I used to start at $9.95. I wanted to charge $1,000, but the marketing genius in me said, oh, I gotta make this $9.99 or $9.95 to make it look legit. So here's the pricing structure that I've been following for the last couple of years. 2016, we started at $9.95, and then in 2017, we went up to $12.50. I would say $12.50 is probably a great starting point to be at. This year, the starting rate for most of my weddings was $14.50. At the end of wedding season, That's usually when I hike up my rate. Right now during the holidays is engagement season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Those are hot engagement dates. So around January through March, you notice that there's an upsurge in booking. So that's when you want to get those numbers up. So I typically do that around September. I raise my rates. So right now, this is where I'm at. I'm at $1,650 starting rate. Keep in mind that this is just starting rate. So what you get with this is really not much. You get 2 speakers, Facade, a mixer, microphones, DJ, and MC. That's it. This does not include lights. This does not include photo booth. This does not include CO2 gun. All that stuff, I do it separately. And if I continue this same trend by 2021, I will at least be making $2,000. This price right here is not my overall closing rate. Now, I've DJ'd all over the country. I've talked to hundreds of DJs and I've been to multiple conferences. So I know what the overall average here in the United States is. Closing average in the United States is between $1,000 and $3,000. The average cost for most of the weddings that I do is around $2,500. That gets you DJ, that gets you lights, maybe dancing on the clouds, and maybe even a photo booth. It really all depends. You gotta keep in mind that sometimes I do provide discounts depending on the date, depending on how much stuff they get. The numbers are all over the place. Now, don't be discouraged if you're below this number or right at this number. You have to keep in mind that I am at the Mecca. I am in the tri-state area, which is one of the hottest mobile DJ markets, and I have personally gone in and shopped multiple DJ companies here in the tri-state area, and to a lot of them, this is chump change. Some of these companies have crazy closing rates of $5,000, $10,000, but keep in mind that there are a ton of factors that go into your rate. Your price. There are a ton of factors that go into this. Experience. People aren't gonna pay you a lot of money if you don't have the experience to back it up. You gotta think of mobile DJing as a business. You have to have some kind of sales ability. You have to be able to communicate why your overall product is better than the competition. There are some DJs that are absolutely trash when it comes to the DJ aspect of things, but they are great salesmen. You don't necessarily have to be the world's greatest DJ to get the most money. However, these two go hand in hand. Your skills. If you absolutely suck, nobody is going to book you. So these two work side by side. You have to be a great businessman, but you also have to be able to back up what you're saying to these clients. And up here with experience is referrals. With experience, you'll find that there is some overlap and referrals. The more events you do, the more you can charge, the more referrals that you'll get. Business 101 says your booking, your dates that you have available dictates your overall price. So if you don't have that many bookings, chances are you're not going to be making that much money. So you'll probably be here. Now, when you start getting more and more bookings, then your price also steadily grows. This is kind of the model that I am following right now. Eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I can't handle any more events, so that means I can just jack my rate up. Now, you will hit a point where you start to plateau, and this is very important. You're gonna hit a point where people are gonna say, hey man, you're great and all, but I'm not willing to pay you that much for your service. So when you reach this point, the only way to increase your profit margins is you're either gonna have to add a ton of special effects, sell more photo booths, sell dancing on the clouds, sell fireworks, sell more stuff, or you're going to have to turn into a multi-up. When you hit this plateau, you're gonna have to go one of two routes. Your market. Like I said, in general, most people are pretty good about paying between 1K and 3K. Most DJs, this is the price category that they fall in. Now, there are also two markets. There is the super cheap market. So imagine all these are clients These are the clients that are looking to pay, you know, around 500 bucks for a DJ. And there is money to be made here, but you're going to need to book volume in order to survive in this market. The second market is the 3K plus. This is the very high-end market. It's very scarce, but these are your high-paying clients, high risk, high reward. There are three categories that you probably fall in. New DJ, growing DJ, established DJ. Here is what, in my opinion, you should be making. When you're a new DJ, you should at least, in the low end, try to make 300 bucks per gig. If you're just getting started, you just bought some stuff, 300 bucks, great place to start. Alternatively, you could do 100 bucks an hour. After doing this for about 1 to let's say 3 years, you're probably here in this area where it's between 3 and I would say 5 years. General consensus for most DJs around the country, it's about $12.50. That's typically what most guys want to get to DJ, but this could go as high as up to $3,000 depending on your location. Established. These are the guys that are making 3K to 10K. These are big multi-op companies. They're million-dollar companies. They have a ton of reviews. They have a ton of referrals. They have a huge marketing budget. Most DJs, believe it or not, will never see this kind of money for their events. The last thing I want to mention in this video is your competition. When pricing yourself, you have to let go of ego, let go of arrogance, and be absolutely realistic with yourself. Is the product that you are providing better than the competition? The ego within you will probably say yes, but you have to be realistic. Have you done as many gigs as your competition? Do you offer the same services as your competition? Can you offer your clients the peace of mind that your competition can offer? These are all questions that you have to ask yourself, because ultimately you are going to be pricing yourself, and obviously we all think our work is as good, if not better, than the rest. Now, I highly recommend that you go out there and price shop your competition. Easy way to do this is just by logging on to Wedding Wire, typing in where you're at. I find that most of the time, most companies aren't lying because they don't want to scare potential clients away. So usually when they say, what's the average cost for your services? Most of the time, companies are being realistic. They're not really lying. Alternatively, what you can do is you can also go to a company's website and shop them. And keep in mind that most of the time, the people handling the heavy lifting when it comes to wedding planning are usually the brides. So if you are going to price shop your competition, use your girlfriend's name, your mom's name, your ex-girlfriend's name. I still use my ex-girlfriend's name when I want to shop my competition. And the second tip that I can give you when price shopping your competition is in the notes section, write in the name of a local venue. That way you look more legit. If you're successful in getting the pricing for your competitions, keep in mind, you're not going to be able to do much with that information. You're only going to be able to use it as reference. It's not a good idea to just go in there and price cut, or to just think that you're going to charge higher. There are a ton of other factors, because generally when a company sends you a PDF or a hidden link to their website with their pricing, what they're sending you is sticker price. So generally that's not the price that most people pay when they actually book. Oftentimes what you'll find is that most companies mark up their add-ons and then they'll offer an overall discount based on how much stuff the people get. Lastly, something that I know that's going to show up in the comment section of this video: equipment. Equipment does not matter. Keep in mind that we're in the business of selling a service, not the actual equipment itself. So don't think for a second that just because you got the world's greatest speakers, or that you went out there and actually bought name brand equipment, not from China, that you can charge extra for it. Essentially, what you're selling at the end of the day is not a Nimbus. You're selling dancing on the clouds. You're selling the look of the room when you uplight it, not the actual uplight itself. Equipment does not matter. The only thing that equipment does is provide you a peace of mind. So if you're using quality stuff, you're gonna know that it's reliable stuff. And during the sales process, that's what you gotta convey to your clients, that your equipment is not going to fail. So if I can leave you with anything here at the end, is always remember this: if your client says yes, you probably didn't ask for enough money. This video probably went on way longer than it should have, but it was a difficult question to answer. There are a ton of things that go into overall pricing. So I hope that I was able to provide some insight. I hope that I was able to give you guys some tips on how to price yourself. I would love to get your feedback down in the comments below. Let me know how much you guys charge. Let me know what you guys thought of those numbers, those general numbers, those numbers around the country. I want to find out what you guys are charging, not just in the USA, but all over the world. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave a like on it. It does help me a lot. Subscribe if you're new around here, and if you really want to help me out, don't forget to turn on that bell so that you can be notified next time we do another video. Signing off, your boy DJ Barr. Peace.